What's up, fam of Liberty, and also everyone else who's watching this video who isn't following our channel for some mystifying, stupefying reason. It's your new best friend, Big Sarge, the artist formerly known as Admin Tim. I'm the founder of the Sons of Liberty social media organization that's been steadily enraging MAGA fuckface ass clowns since 2015. If you saw us out in the streets at a protest for the first time, and or you're new to this channel, I know what you might be thinking, so let me go ahead and get this out of the way. Sing along if you know the words. Fuck Donald Trump, fuck neo-Nazi illegal immigrant Elon Musk, fuck GOP politicians, fuck these limp dick Democrat politicians that aren't out there raising as much hell as Al Green, and also fuck the billionaires, the wealth hoarders that have their fucking boots on the neck of just about every American citizen. Neither this channel nor its comment sections are a safe space for bootlicking simps for a Russian asset, convicted felon, adjudicated rapist, wish.com fascist oligarch, failed insurrectionist, wannabe authoritarian tyrant, or his sugar daddy, the world's biggest supervillain, thin-skinned beta bitch-made man-child from South Africa that nobody elected. Now you know where I stand on things, so if you're still here and you're not frantically rage-typing into the comments section like a triggered snowflake who thinks that only conservatives have a lock on patriotism, then maybe consider following this channel after you watch the video and deciding whether or not you like the cut of my jib. A minor mistake by Vice President Dan Quayle created a frenzy and a long-running joke that would haunt him throughout his entire political career. In 1992, Quayle led a spelling bee for 6th grade students whilst visiting an elementary school in New Jersey. Working from an inaccurate flashcard prepared by a teacher, he corrected 12-year-old William Figueroa when the student spelled potato correctly on the blackboard, making the boy add an unnecessary E at the end of the word. The media assault for the mistake was truly relentless. It would paint Dan Quayle as an idiot and essentially torpedo his career. In January 2004, Howard Dean lost the Iowa caucus against John Kerry, and in order to reassure his supporters, Howard Dean went on stage at a boisterous rally.
South Carolina and Oklahoma and Arizona and North Dakota and New Mexico. And we're going to California and Texas and New York. And we're going to South Dakota and Oregon and Washington and Michigan.
During this speech, he cut loose with a garbled cheer that sounded more like he got zapped by an electrical outlet.
And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House. Yeah!
Over a period of 4 days, the soundbite was broadcast 633 times on national news networks and cable channels. Political analysts at the time believed the embarrassing tone of the coverage of the very simple warped "yeah" was the end of his campaign. It has since been called the Howard Dean "I have a scream" speech. In October 2007, the National Enquirer, notorious for stories such as "Woman Conceives Bad Baby with Vampire" and "Face of Elvis Spotted in Woman's Poo," began running a story about an alleged affair between vice presidential candidate John Edwards and former campaign worker Rielle Hunter. By July of 2008, the story had become mainstream and now included the allegation that he had fathered a child with Hunter and had visited with her and his baby daughter. Edwards would eventually own up to the affair when presented with proof, but he denied having fathered a child. Edwards' wife Elizabeth was battling breast cancer, and evidence surfaced that Edwards had promised to marry Hunter after his wife died. This was the end of his presidential career. I'm telling you all of this because America used to have incredibly unrealistic standards of conduct for its presidents and vice presidents, and we all fucking see what's going on in this country right now. And there will never be a return to normalcy. Remember post 9/11 and the Patriot Act? Still doing that shit. Remember a dude tried to light his fucking shoe on fire because it was a plastic explosive? Just one time he did that, and now 20 years later we still have to take our fucking shoes off at the airport security gate. There is no return to normalcy. This is the new normal. Our government is irreparably broken because half of Congress is full of cultists or spineless cowards who are afraid to get primaried if they don't toe the line. The other half is effectively neutered until 2026, and that's if we're allowed to have elections. And all you conservative MAGA patriots out there, Trump's coming for your guns. I put out a whole ass video just this morning in which I spilled the tea all over the receipts. Trump's own words uttered in public. And like you said, this is a man who says what he means, right? Now, earlier, I gave you some examples of things ranging from minor gaffes to indiscretions and how our political and media landscape has changed to basically nobody cares as long as it's a Republican. Want to know what else has changed? The nation's treatment of veterans, specifically in the political realm. It used to be absolutely unthinkable that any politician would dare talk about veterans in a negative light. But former Trump lawyer Alina Habba, who Trump infamously fired for incompetence during one of his many criminal trials, has somehow gotten a job as a White House advisor. probably because there's literally nobody else competent who'd stoop that low to otherwise fill the position. Alina Hava went on record about the veterans in the federal and state government workforce who were losing their jobs. She characterized these veterans as lazy and undeserving a job. And if you thought it was alarming that 2,400 people had been fired from the Department of Veterans Affairs, guess what? Some 83,000 VA employees, most of them veterans, are about to be fired. That's a massive chunk of VA employees, almost all of whom provide critical care and services to our nation's veterans, whether they're combat wounded veterans or spouses and children of veterans. We all fucking see what is happening, and we all fucking see Republicans and Democrats afraid to act. You don't become a veteran by some magical decoder ring and mimeographed insert that you got for saving your cereal box tops, little Jimmy. You become a veteran by swearing an oath to defend your country against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and to uphold the Constitution. You serve your country for a number of years, whether that was as an enlisted person or by accepting a commission to be an officer. At any point in your peacetime or wartime service, you could be abruptly deployed into a combat zone where you may encounter situations where you're killed by enemy fire, or you make a decision to sacrifice your life in service of a greater good to save others, like Sergeant First Class Alwyn Cashe, a warrior whose name I wear on my right wrist at all times, almost all times. Sergeant Cashe was a Bradley vehicle commander whose convoy was ambushed in Iraq. Sergeant Cashe wasn't even supposed to be on the convoy. He volunteered when another Bradley was unable to fill its role. A Bradley is an infantry fighting vehicle with a crew of 3 and a troop bay in the back. Sergeant Cashe's vehicle was struck by an IED and its fuel supply went up. Sergeant Cashe managed to escape the turret and he dragged his crew to safety. Sergeant Cashe was safe. I need you to understand that. However, the soldiers and the Iraqi interpreter in the back were trapped because the ramp was stuck. Sergeant Cashe, whose uniform was soaked in fuel, managed to get the ramp down whilst running into enemy machine gun fire. He stepped into the burning troop bay numerous times in order to pull his soldiers and his interpreter to safety. His body received third-degree burns, but he still ran back in to save his guys. Sergeant Cashe was medevaced to Germany, where he would eventually succumb to his wounds. He was finally, after much campaigning, given the Medal of Honor for his actions, for willingly putting his life on the line to save others. And now the same motherfucking government that sent us to Iraq in the first goddamn place is now yanking the rug out from every single veteran in this country. If you're a MAGA supporter who thinks this is okay and you voted for this to own the libs, I need you to go start a shotgun, and don't you ever fucking thank me or any other veteran for our service to this country, because you are abusing the privileges and freedoms that we put our lives on the line for. Our tribe didn't go out there to fight and die in vain just for you to steal oxygen, so go apologize to a fucking tree, you fucking cunt. On Friday, March 14th, 12 p.m. at the National Mall in Washington, D.C., I'm calling on every single veteran, regardless of your political beliefs or your 2024 voting decision. I'm calling on every single civilian, whether you have direct ties to veterans or not. I'm calling on every single soldier, sailor, airman, and Marine. And yes, you Coasties and Force, Space Shuttle door gunners, whether you're on active duty or in the Guard or the Reserves. I'm calling on everyone to remember the spirit of the bonus army, which I've talked about in a previous video. On Friday, March 14th, 12 p.m. at the National Mall in Washington, D.C., we again put our lives on the line. And that's not just the veterans, that's all you civilians out there too. I need each and every one of you to fight like your ancestors. We marched in protest. We exercised our First Amendment right to peacefully assemble and to peacefully protest. We will potentially put our lives on the line because the last time veterans marched on Washington, D.C. in such numbers to protest the U.S. government not paying their wartime bonuses, they were attacked by cops and dispersed by Army troops. So whilst there have been plenty of peaceful protests that didn't devolve into chaos, and whilst we're going there to peacefully protest and tell the government no kings, and to demand that they honor the contract, we are still protesting an authoritarian regime which has proven it does not care about us, it does not respect us, and it will do everything it can to criminalize dissent and crack down like we're living in fucking China or North goddamn Korea. This is our moment, America. This is our time. Friday, March 14th, 12 p.m. at the National Mall, Washington, D.C. We need to invoke the spirit of every single patriot who ever put their life on the line for this country and its people. Whether it's some Minuteman in 1776 or some newspaper printer in Boston cranking out anti-monarchy manifestos. Whether it's some anti-fascist storming the beach at Normandy or some college-aged black student sitting at a lunch counter meant for white people only. Every person who ever played a part in ensuring that all people in this country had the same freedoms and liberties enjoyed by the privileged class. That is the spirit you must channel. Otherwise, there may not be a country left to vote for in 2026. The resistance starts with us. Want to know how you can get involved and link up with the Sons of Liberty resistance movement? We've organized Sons of Liberty chapters by region and state all across the country. Please do not ask me in the comment sections if we have a chapter in such and such state or such and such region. Get on our Discord server. Rule number 1 of Sons of Liberty Fight Club is that we don't talk about Sons of Liberty Fight Club. I have a whole ass video on a subject called Operation Security, or OPSEC, and that is essentially the art of denying information and other critical pieces of data, which is information, to your to your opposition, whoever that may be. The Sons of Liberty Discord server is promoted in almost every single video that we do because that's where our fam of liberty is based. That way, conservative social media tech oligarchs like Mark Zuckerberg and Shadow President Elon Mussolini can't deplatform us on Discord. They can't mute or censor our content. Discord is not just a chat platform or a platform for gamers. Whilst we do have off-topic channels and sections for gamers, we also have region sections with helpful resources for those regions. In those spaces, you can organize with local fam of liberty. You can learn about practical things such as self-defense courses, find firearms instructors who are local to you and who are left-leaning. You can learn about home defense and home security, participate in firearms discussions with subject matter experts. You can learn about growing your own food in victory gardens, and then canning and jarring and preserving that food. You can figure out your shit hits the fan contingency plans, build your first aid kits, build bug out bags, link up with other fam of liberty members who are protesting or can assist you with moving to safety if you need to be safe. For those of you who don't see our social media posts or videos, even though you follow us on Discord, you can also get updates from our social media, which does make our Discord ping heavy thanks to the webhooks that integrate our various social media notifications. But you can disable those in the channel appropriately named ping roll. Just go click a button. If you're having trouble with Discord, I have a whole ass YouTube tutorial on the Sons of Liberty Discord right up there in the corner. So if you need assistance, start with that video. The invite link to our Discord server is in the Throatpunch at the end of this video and all of our other videos. That invite link is also in the YouTube video description and in the YouTube and TikTok channel descriptions. If you like the shirts, including this one, or the hoodies that I wear in my videos, some of them, but not all of them, are available in the Sons of Liberty merch store. That is, provided Etsy doesn't take me down for content violations because I put up 2 shirts about making billionaires afraid again. Our merch store is listed in the link tree in our YouTube and TikTok channel descriptions and in the video description on Facebook and YouTube. I put up new merch all the time, and a lot of designs and merch get added specifically because you request them in our comment sections or you throw a contributed piece my way. If you like our video content, we have a whole ass social media presence elsewhere, so we would appreciate it if you would follow us on all of our other socials, whichever ones that you've got. The various socials that we have are listed in the Throatpunch at the end of our videos and the link tree, which can be found on the channel description. On YouTube and TikTok, we'd also appreciate it if you would subscribe, like, and get notifications on our channel. It's a little bit of a different process on TikTok, but if you're on TikTok and you're still following us, then you already know that. Fuck TikTok anyway, fucking shadow bandit ass motherfuckers. You can help us extend our reach by sharing our video content on all of your socials. Go find the relevant Sons of Liberty account on that platform, share the content there, including this video, because it's probably already linked there. You can help us beat the algorithm by leaving us at least 7 words in the comment sections. 7 words is the apparent magical number for the algorithm to decide that your engagement on our content is more meaningful and thought-provoking than just drive-by, LOL, yeah, what you said, string of emojis. So therefore, it should suggest our videos and our channel to people who watch the same things that you watch. That algorithm works on most other social media platforms, so be cognizant of that on places where you support Big Sarge and the other Sons of Liberty admins and other content creators. If you've watched this video all the way to the end and literally nothing that I have screamed about here, Howard Dean screamed about here, that you can't think of anything else to say, but you still want to help us beat the algorithm, then the phrase, I made it to the end, Big Sarge, is actually 8 words. So if you can't think of anything to say, despite all of the things that we have talked about here today, there's a suggestion. 2 claps and a Rick. Fight like your ancestors. Join or die, fam.
And now it's time for the throw punch!